Hi, I'm Elios, and today I wanted to talk to you about the reasons why I decided to switch out from having a smartphone to a dumb phone or a feature phone. This is the flip Nokia 2660. It's available in Europe. I believe in the US it's the 2780. Why this I decided to switch out? So I've had a smartphone for the past 10 years, more or less. I used to have like a candy bar phone when I was in middle school and the start of high school. But having a smartphone was making me so overwhelmed. At the start, I just decided to delete the social medias off my phone. I did this, I think, a year and a half ago, more or less. So I deleted mostly Instagram, honestly. I never really used TikTok, and I didn't really use Facebook anymore. The only social media that I still use is YouTube, if you want to call that a social media. Instagram was making me feel too overwhelmed. The main factors were switching from one news to the other, especially in the stories of people. Like you just switch from one topic to the other so quickly, and it was making me feel very anxious, and I wasn't even seeing like my friends posts anymore. Honestly, it was hard at the start because I've had Instagram since 2013 and I used to post quite a lot, but in the end, like in, I want to say, a couple of weeks, I honestly just forgot that it existed. At the start, I kept the app on my iPad, but then I wasn't even checking that anymore, and now I just check it once in a while on my computer, mostly to like see events. So yeah, I decided to take off all of the social media apps from my smartphone. I put the grayscale option on the screen, so I kept the phone like this for a year, more or less. It still didn't feel like it was enough. I don't know, I felt like I was too attached to the phone. I was hearing texting coming in even when they weren't, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna change it up. So for the past 6 months, more or less, I've looked up feature phones or dumb phones, trying to understand what was available in my area. A lot of information is based on the US. Actually, here in Europe, lots of dumb phones are available, but they are mostly targeted towards the elderly, which is fine, but sometimes the phones are really ugly and also the functionalities are not great. So in the end, I went for the Nokia 2660, mostly because it's kind of cute. I want to say it's customizable, like the screen and the ringtone. So you can see here I have one text. This is the blue color. There's also black and I think there's like green and maybe pink. This is the Nokia version. This year Nokia has been bought by HMD. This is the 2022 version, and now there's the HMD version, which is a bit different. I'm not too sure about the differences, honestly. This one I bought on Vinted for 30 euros. I think you cannot update this anymore. I don't know if it's all the Nokias or if it's just my phone, which may be like some kind of particular batch, I'm not sure, but I'm okay with it, honestly. Since it cannot connect to the internet, you can't really hack it or anything, so it's fine. So yeah, I've used it for the past 2 weeks, and honestly, it's been great. I don't really have any negatives for now. Yeah, I want to say the only instance where I had one issue, it was caused by me. I had to get a packaging from the post office, and usually I write down the code on my agenda, and for some reason I thought I did and I didn't, and so I had to like connect to another smartphone or another person, whatever, but it's always something that you can solve. So I wanted to go through a bit of a review of the phone and also some of the most common questions, I think the questions that I had in mind before buying the phone itself. So as you can see, the phone has a camera and it also has a torch. The torch is great, the camera isn't that great, but whatever. It takes pictures like if you really need it. Well, obviously it can call. The calls, I haven't really had any issues yet. I use Iliad in Italy, and it's been great. I haven't really gone outside of the country, but I do live in a city. I did go to the mountains once, and I had no issue, so it's great. The line doesn't cut off or anything. Sometimes you can hear some noises, but it's not really a bother. The texting, I think it's okay, you get used to it. Well, I used to have this kind of phone, you know, with this kind of keyboard. So now I'm pretty fast at writing, and it's good. So if you want to unblock it, you just do it like this, and I put customized screen. It's from Silent Hill 3, and for you just if you want to write a new message, obviously you cannot take QR codes or scanning, but if you do have like a supermarket card or something, you can just take a picture with this, and the quality will be enough for it to be scanned by the shop owners. There's the music app. I only put a few songs. The memory isn't really big. I do have a SD card. You can put an SD card up to 32 gigabytes in this. You can only put certain things in the SD and not others. But the phone is pretty customizable itself. You can change the ringtone, you can change the screen, obviously. You have to convert the files to a certain like framing for them to be fit. Otherwise, sometimes if you just Bluetooth them from the computer, the phone will not read them. For the Bluetooth, it's great, it's kind of slow. It does connect to my computer. I have a MacBook Air from 2017 Intel. It does not, however, connect to my iPhone 13, which is my smartphone, and I tried to like send a picture, but the iPhone says that the device cannot be recognized. So that's unfortunate, but that's not too much of an issue, you know. This comes with its own headphones. When you connect them to have a call, the people on the other side cannot hear you. So I'm not sure if it's defective or if the headphones are just for listening to music, but you cannot use them to call, so you always have to call like this, which is cool, but you know, does not connect to Apple wired headphones. It might be mine though, I'm not sure. One thing that kind of irked me is you cannot change the vibration type. So when you get a text and it's in vibration mode, it always double rings like zzz, 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 zzz. And if you get like a lot of messages like in a row, it's kind of annoying. But so another thing is if you don't want the buttons to be pushed when it's in your bag or in your pocket, you can just do this thing where it's you have to unblock it by pushing here, and then it unblocks. Comes very in handy so that the doesn't like go up or down when it's in your pocket. This is the speaker, this is the port charging, and this is the aux. I think that the phone itself is pretty cool. It has this button which is cute. You can customize this. For example, I use this quite a lot. So the profiles is like general, so you have the ringtone. This is like silence, so nothing, and this one is for vibration, and you can also have your own style, which I think is kind of nice. You cannot change this menu here, and sometimes the hour takes a little bit to, if this was closed for quite some time and then you open it again, it takes a couple of seconds to update the time. So always double check if you are checking for the time here. When it closes, it shows the right time. The main issue, if you want to call it, that I've had with this phone for now is that the texting storage runs out pretty quickly. If you want to, if there's a text that's really important to you, can take a photo with another device, because the SD card cannot hold the messages. The messages can only be stored in the phone itself or in the SIM card. Delete them every couple of days. All of the people that I text with are people who use a smartphone, and so for them it's not really an issue to text a lot of text in a row, but the phone sometimes takes a bit of time to download the text, especially when it's kind of long or when they are like 7 or 8 in a row. Do not have the conversation like you have it in a smartphone where there's like your text and the other person, but you have to open each text, so especially if there are a lot of different texts you have to remember. As for the battery run, I have only gone through I think 4 or 5 cycles since I bought it. The battery now is holding up better. Obviously it depends on how long you call for, if you use it a lot. I do not play the games that are stored inside this. I don't really use this beside texting and calling, so I don't know if you maybe use it for more features. The battery drains more quickly. When I use my iPhone, the battery usually was 2 days. I think the more you cycle it, the more the battery holds, because at the start it drains more quickly. I'm not really sure why technically, but it just does. So now for the common questions, or at least the questions that I had in mind before choosing. So which phone do I choose? That really depends on the area where you are, the availability. At the start I really wanted a phone that could also have Android apps like Maps, WhatsApp, that kind of thing, but in the end I decided on a feature phone that didn't have the internet, because that was available to me in my area. For example, the Nokia 2780, which is the US version of this one, also has Wi-Fi and hotspot. And hotspot especially comes in handy. Go somewhere you don't know the map and you are driving, you don't want to switch out the SIM from this phone to your smartphone, and you can just connect it to the hotspot and use Google Maps or Waze or whatever. And with this one you cannot do this, you have to switch out to the SIM. And I believe also there's the Sunbeam phone, there's the Cat 22. There are a lot of feature phones that have internet, if that's what you also want. And also the Altmive one. There's also the Kyocera one, the Japanese phones. Those are very cute, but the shipping is too much. Honestly, I didn't want to spend a lot. That's also a big thing. How much do you want to spend on the phone itself? I believe this one is 80 euros if you buy them on like electronics. The Sunbeam phone costs like more than $100. I'm not sure. There's also all of the the light phone, all those ones that cost hundreds of dollars. I was looking for a flip phone because I think they're cool. Also the screen is usually bigger. Let's compare this to my old phone. So if we compare all of the phones that I have, this is my iPhone 13 and this is the flip phone. But if we open this is how big the flip phone is. So when it's open, it's bigger than the iPhone 13, but it's way lighter. You don't really feel this in your hand, honestly. This was my phone that I had when I was in middle school. So before having a smartphone, this was my phone. So if we compare this, this was bought in 2010, I think, 2011, and I had this up to my first year of high school, so up until 2013, 14. So this is how big the phone the screen used to be. Compared to this, you can see it's basically half of the phone itself. This keypad is amazing. You can really mess up your texting. If you compare this to this candy bar phone, you can see that the keypad is way bigger. But I didn't really have any issues with this one either. I was really fast with texting. But yeah, you can see the screen is really what is the difference. Also, this one didn't really have any camera or anything. It was very basic. So yeah, some of the biggest questions which are okay. The smartphone is basically a small computer, right? What about camera? What about music? What about maps? All of those things. So obviously if you don't have an Android phone, you're not gonna have those things in your dumb phone. For the camera, for filming, I use, like for taking videos, I use the camera that I'm currently using right now, which is Handycam. It's a Sony CX405. It films in HD, I like it, I don't really need to use a microphone either. Pictures, I use this one, which was my like childhood camera. It's a Canon PowerShot A550. It's pretty basic. It does have, it can do filming, not very great kind of filming.
Metti giù la spina. La concetta coi fasci.
There's manual, there's auto. It's a nice enough camera. If we're gonna take a picture right now, I mean, it's enough for what I have to do. I also do have analogic camera, like a point and shoot that I use if I want to film, and I have a very old reflex from 2011. I think it's like a Canon EOS something, which is still pretty great. It takes good photos. Then what about maps? This is a very big one for a lot of people. Obviously you can get like a TomTom or a GPS thing, especially if you drive a lot, or if your car already has the navigation system inside it. My car doesn't have it. I did go to places that I hadn't really been at before, but I just checked the maps before going out. I memorized the streets that I had to go to, and it was okay. I do go to most places either walking or by bike, but I do use the car too. I do drive. I do still have to have a longer trip to a place where I haven't ever gone to outside of the city. We'll see how I do. I have to go somewhere during the Christmas holidays. I'm gonna try my best to memorize the map. It's also kind of a challenge for yourself, you know, and I feel like it gets you more confident too. I was going somewhere with my mother. She was driving and I was in the passenger seat, and we weren't really sure where a place was. We knew the area, but we didn't know the street. And I was like, you should go this way. And she was like, no, put the maps on my phone, put the maps on my phone. And I was like, no, we can do this. And in the end, we did it. It took like maybe a minute more than what it would have taken if we had the maps. But yeah, obviously it all depends on how well you know your area. I've lived in the same city my whole life. I do have some areas that I don't really know. But you know, if it's a new area for you, or you have issues orienting yourself in space, maybe consider getting a phone that has the hotspot, so it's easier and you don't have to switch the SIM, or you can always just switch the SIM itself and it only takes a couple of minutes usually. What I saw a lot of people do is writing the indications on a piece of paper, and either like having it in your hand if you're walking, or putting it in like in your car where you can see it, and you just write it by hand, or you can print the streets that you have to go through. I think that's also a valid solution if the trip that you have to take is too long for you to remember all in your head. Another big thing is music. So I've used Spotify for the past 10 years. I've had a premium family account, but with all of the things going on with Spotify lately, I didn't want to support that anymore. I decided to get off Spotify. So in the end, I decided to go for iPod. I was looking into modding an iPod for a long time. This is a thing that has been going on since iPod started coming out. I think the iPods that are more easily moddable are the iPod mini and the first generations of iPod classics up until the 5th, I think. I'm not really sure about that. So I was looking into modding an iPod mini for a long time. This is an iPod mini 2nd generation. This one, if you look videos, if you look up videos of iPod modding on YouTube, you're gonna see it. But basically, the inside of this, it gets all pushed out, and so that's why it's so easily moddable. You just basically take it outside of its casing. This one, you can see it because of the little cracks that it has, that it was modded, but this is from 2005, so I didn't really expect it to be perfect or anything, but it only has a few scratches, and it's cool. I think that the color is also really pretty. And so this one I bought already modded because I found it on Vinted, and this was a lot of money. This was like 100 euros. This is 120 gigabytes, okay, and it has a new battery. If you are going to mod an iPod yourself, you're gonna spend at least 60 or 80 euros on a flash drive, at least where I'm based. These are sold between 30 and 80 euros on Vinted. If you're gonna buy this new and you're gonna mod it, it's not really worth it. But if you're gonna buy one that has some issues, like the sad pod emoji folder, you have to know a bit what you're gonna do. So I haven't really modded anything ever in my life. I was up for doing it, but you know, I figured I'm gonna pay maybe more, or I don't know, maybe I'm gonna buy the things and then I'm not gonna be able to do it, and I'm just gonna like destroy an iPod. And so I was like, I'm gonna buy it already modded. But if it's modded and it's like 200 euros, I don't know if it's worth it. But this one has 120 gigabytes. iPods do not hold FLAC files, so it's like lossless or CD type of music, and so it can only hold MP3s or AAC or MPEG, which is the Apple version. Music is not really gonna weight more than a couple of megabytes per song, and so you're gonna have like I have my whole library, like all of the music that I listen to in here, and it's only 20 gigabytes of music. So I still have 100 gigabytes empty. So I could basically like have all of the music in the world here if I feel like it's like that. Worth it, honestly. Great. The only thing, this cannot connect to my car. I think the system, like they are too far apart from each other to be read. I do not have an aux in my car. I only have a USB. And this port in the iPod mini only for charging. You don't really connect this to listen to music, so it can only be connected with the aux. So I basically just like bought like a USB, and I listen to the music from the USB in my car. The USB always stays connected to the car, and so yeah, solution that I found for listening to music in my car. Another thing, which is one of the things that was kind of a setback for me at the start for buying dumphone without Android apps, was group texting. Here in Italy you only use WhatsApp to text. No one really uses SMS anymore, and that's a big thing in a lot of European countries, but I believe also Asian and African countries. So what do? I did send a text to all of the chats that I used for the past 2 or 3 months, saying, I'm gonna switch to a phone that doesn't have the internet, so if it's urgent, just send me a text or call. I do have on my WhatsApp status the thing that I'm not using a smartphone anymore. It wasn't really an issue for any person, people have been, some people have been texting me less frequently, but I think that's okay, I'm still gonna see them either way, and if they are people that are far away, we didn't really have urgent texting either, so if I get like a long audio, I can still have access to WhatsApp and Telegram on my computer, so I just use WhatsApp web, and I get on there once a day or once every 2 days, and to just check if I have any texts. And the same with Telegram. With chats, they are usually not urgent things, So and if I know that I have a very urgent group chat, I just check WhatsApp more often on my computer if I'm at home. I think it's cool because when you are outside, you don't really check the phone a lot. You're not really on your phone when you are with other people. You have conversations that are not distracted by the phone, which is a big thing for me. It's honestly been great. I would recommend this to anyone. I know it's not something that everyone can do because of work, because of responsibilities, but I think if you can adjust your personal life to this, it's a great thing. And obviously it's always customize versus compromise, right? So dumbing down your smartphone or getting a feature phone that has Android apps, right? So you customize because you choose which apps you want to use, you choose how you want your smartphone to be. But I was at a point where I really didn't want to have a smartphone anymore, or at least I wanted to try. So I decided to go with the compromise. So I know I'm not gonna have some things, I know I'm gonna have to organize my life in a different way. I'm gonna have to write my grocery shop list on paper. I'm gonna have to write down the code or get a picture of the QR code if I'm gonna receive a package from the post office. I'm gonna have to buy the train ticket at the station and not on the train app. I'm gonna have to call more often if I want to have a more speedy conversation with a person, because texting takes a lot of time. I'm gonna have to take my planner with me everywhere because I need the notes, or if I'm gonna have free time, have to bring with me maybe a book or my iPod to listen to music, or you can just look around honestly and experience things. And I know it's scary because we've been used to be so bombarded and stimulated by things that even the thought of having 5 minutes with our thoughts is scary sometimes. But these past few weeks I've been able to be more with my own thoughts and also with my own needs more. Honestly, it's great. So yeah, if you want to go for a feature phone, I think you should do it, honestly. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. If you have more questions about this specific phone, I can answer them. And if you honestly just want to talk about feature phones and dumb phones, all of these kind of things, I'm very happy to talk about this. If you have videos concerning these topics that you think would be interesting, leave them in the comment section. And yeah, see you in the next video.